Welcome back. We are here with Dave from Purdue Law Offices. Dave, how are you?
Good. Today?
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
thanks. How's
Yeah,
it going?
fantastic. I appreciate you hosting me in your office, so I'm excited to chat with you.
Oh, it's nice to meet you.
Yes,
Learn a little bit more about what you're doing.
yes, thank you. And so we actually had a great conversation with me and my business partner and you a
hmm
couple weeks ago. We learned a lot.
hmm
Could you talk about why trademarks are more important than patents?
Oh, I'd be happy to. I've adopted a trademark, the trademark Wahoo. I don't tell many people about it. My preference or my love affair with trademarks came about in the 90s. I had a client that invented a wheel.
Yes.
That's what he told me. Um, we were able to get patents on the configuration of the wheel. This fellow made a deal with Trek Bicycle Company, and the client wanted to have Trek use the trademark Rolf, which was the wheel inventor's first name. I said, well, how are you going to get them to do that? And he says, you leave that to me. While I was away on a Christmas trip with my family, Rolf wrote and signed a license agreement with Trek Bicycle. Um, Nobody knew what a Rolf wheel was, so Trek spent six figures promoting that. And Rolf came to be a trademark associated with high quality, high tech wheels, lightweight wheels. The patents have all expired. But the trademark Rolf on a wheel means you can charge more than you can for a wheel that doesn't have Rolf on it. So trademarks don't expire unless or until you stop using them. Patents expire. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, yeah. When you told us that story, we were very fascinated because when you hear about patents, you think that's like the top thing that you can get. Like, oh, I have a
hmm
patent. This is the biggest thing I get. Then when you told us that story, we're like, you're right. Like branding and the brand of your trademark is way more important than like any patent you can get. So we found that very fascinating. When you kind of explained that to us.
I don't know how many clients I've turned away that thought they wanted patents and
Yes.
thought that that was the ticket to a big license agreement. Less than 5% of my clients who have patents succeeded in selling them to companies and making money.
Wow.
Good money.
Yeah.
Real good money.
Yeah. Yes, they usually do. Um, and when it comes to patents, what is the biggest misconception you think people have around them?
Oh, I think largely the fact that people believe it is the ticket, the golden ticket. And once you get that patent, you're going to be getting money in the mailbox. And like I say, that's a rare but wonderful
Yes.
happenstance. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably the main thing people search for a buyer. Hey, I got this patent. It sounds good.
And I really don't have anywhere to be. I
No,
apologize.
no, no, no. You're good. But yeah. So
Uh,
and
the garage inventor.
yeah.
We think of somebody out in the garage because spouse won't let them in the house when they're
Yep.
being a crazy inventor. Um, Boy, they're just convinced that world's going to come a knocking, and the old adage: if you build a better mousetrap,
Yeah.
people will come. Well, if you patent the mousetrap, you've got a patent, and you've paid a patent attorney a goodly sum
Yes.
with no guarantee.
And can you talk about how someone can take your idea that's patented as long as they don't meet every criteria of the patent? Because we found that very, very, fascinating.
Okay, um, sure, and a patent application winds up being the published patent, and there's three main elements. There's a written description of what the invention is, and where possible, illustrations to show what that device is. That's all pretty straightforward, tedious, boring stuff. I studied engineering up in Ann Arbor, met my wife. So, yeah, I can sit down and, do the technical description. When it comes to the scope of the patent protection, we look to the very end of the patent and where we find a claim. And a claim is a horribly awkward one sentence definition of the patented invention. Sometimes I think of it as a recipe. You've got your flour and your eggs and whatnot, and they go together in this certain way. But when it comes to the question of is somebody else infringing that patent, you're going to go through the claim that you were able to convince the Patent and Trademark Office to issue. And unless you find every element of the claim in the accused device, you're not going to have patent infringement. So sometimes you have broad claims, and sometimes you have narrow claims that can run a column. And in those kinds of cases, the prior patents and the examiner at the Patent and Trademark Office kind of force you to get more specific so that your claim defines an invention that is new and not obvious, the two main hurdles to get a patent. That's where a patent attorney comes in. That's when I can feel clever or stupid. Yeah. And it's the kind of thing where you stay up at night if you're a nerd patent attorney, and could I have written that in fewer words and made it a little broader? But it really comes up if you have to go after an infringer.
Yeah.
Or at least make that initial analysis. Is there infringement here? Then you're faced with can you work out some kind of deal?
Yes.
Or you're faced with suing the infringer.
Which you've talked about as a huge bill.
To go through to a trial in a patent case is $1 million.
Really?
Yeah. That's hard for a garage inventor.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes, it is.
It's insane. But again, I've had some clients make those deals and turned out great. I do turn away inventors because I'm saying, this isn't worth your time. I think I'll be the only one making money.
Wow.
And the next day I have to think, well, should I have tried to sell my services or not? But then I look in the mirror and I go, he's okay.
Yeah. And, I think the attitude of when people look at lawyers, they look at like greedy, they look at, trying to squeeze time. Why is you as a lawyer, like, where does this desire to want to be ethical come from?
I have to be ethical, and that's because I was John Purdue's son, and he was a patent attorney, and he did chemical patent work. And, well, I got D's in chemistry, so I'm more on the mechanical kind of it, like wheels.
Yeah.
John had quite a code of ethics. Oh, he's also an excellent writer. Yeah, if he sat down to write a sentence and it could be said in 5 words, he wouldn't use 6. He'd just pare it down. He was concise and accurate. He was also very principled about what it meant to be a lawyer and what it means to sell your time to a client and deliver benefits. And I'm faced often with cases where my services aren't going to benefit that client.
Yeah. So you would say your dad was an inspiration with
In
just
many
just
ways.
like just like how you live life.
Oh yeah, he liked to fish also.
Yes, yes, which you love to do.
Oh, I love it. Never had a bad day fishing.
Yes. Yeah, and so with you being a lawyer since 1983, what do you think needs to change when it comes to the legal system in America?
How long do we have here? Is it? Well, I've touched on part of it, which is the cost for an inventor to enforce the patent. And one bright spot I see on the horizon is in the area of copyright law. Bringing a copyright infringement lawsuit is, not surprisingly, ridiculously expensive. And they're trying to put together what essentially would be a small claims court for copyright owners who don't have the resources to bring a suit. And it's still somebody's dream, but it's being pushed, and I think that it's really going to go a long way. I would say that the cost of the system from my side. Now, personal injury kind of practice. In that case, your lawyer is delivering services and making a recovery, and the recovery is then split. So the high cost of litigation applies in the patent area and some other areas where it doesn't in the personal injury because there is a recovery.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have two more questions for you.
Are they difficult?
No.
Okay.
What is your favorite aspect of getting older?
Not remembering.
That's
And
like a pro and a con.
yeah, blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
I, one of the problems I'm having with getting old is the looking back. Sometimes wishing I had done something differently when that's kind of stupid because you can't
Yeah.
go back. And getting old, see, that's a tough one right there. I'm more at ease with who I am and able to talk to people and a little more confident. Oh, and where I don't really care. That's
Yeah.
that's what I that's what I convey. I don't really care. Just another part of it is specifically to the practice, and I think attorneys develop kind of a sense of how a client relationship might turn out, including whether you're going to get paid or not. And
Yeah.
my radar is much better at this age. And I think I laugh more. I don't take
Really?
myself as seriously. Well, I work with my brother Bill,
Okay.
and Tina's been here 33 years.
Wow.
So if it ever looks like I'm getting full of myself, yeah, I'm brought back down to earth very quickly.
And was this a gradual progression of you like easing up on yourself a little bit throughout life?
Yeah, yeah, because like I say, I would worry about things that have happened, and I'm able to let that go a little bit more. And as far as predicting the future, my dad, John,
Yep.
I, I liked his approach. My mom would ask about the weather. Is it going to rain today? And he'd say, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Either it is or it isn't. Um, so don't worry about what's coming up. You'll
Yeah.
never know until it gets here.
It'll destroy your life if you do.
Yeah, and I've seen people that just have to want it. Well, they want to control what's
Yes.
happening.
Always.
They're kind of entertaining sometimes
Yeah.
because
Well, I mean, especially with you getting older, you're like, oh, that was me 20 years ago, and you kind of see yourself in them.
a little bit, sure. I also like to, help people
Yeah.
understand what I think I've learned. That's real fun. That's a good part of getting old.
Yes, it is. I have one more question for you, Dave.
What's that?
If you could have dinner with two people,
Okay.
one person from the past
Okay.
and one person from the present,
Okay.
who would it be and why?
Uh, uh, there's more than two.
You have to pick.
There's more than.
Only two.
Uh-huh. I guess as a patent attorney, I would think in terms of Ben Franklin, a
Interesting.
noted inventor and someone who lived so long ago. I often wonder what a day in the life of somebody living 200 years ago was like.
Yeah.
My wife had a stent put in last month. Of course, she'd be dead. It had been 200 years
Yeah.
ago. Even 20 years ago, you'd get your ribs cracked. And 200 years ago?
You're not making it past 40.
We haven't learned about germs and stuff. What was that? Seth, somebody did a movie, A Million Ways to Die in the West. Yeah. So I wouldn't want to go back and talk to Ben.
Yeah.
I'd want him to come
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
here. Yeah.
What about
And
the present?
yeah, I'm getting to that. I'm stalling.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So that would be somebody I haven't met, or it could be somebody I've met
It could be anyone from right now.
that I want to have.
Yep. That you want to
sit
meet.
down with.
You could have met him before, or you don't never met him before. You really want to.
Well, want is kind of a strong word, but I'm going to go with Donald J. Trump. I have so many questions, and my brother Bill says never argue with a narcissist, so we would just have a conversation and no, I don't want to sit down with him.
Okay.
There's a fishing thing. And, I'm just going to pass.
Okay. There's not anyone that you're like, I really want to sit down with?
Well, I like to sit down with my family.
I love it.
There are things that I can still learn, and yeah, I'm going to go with my family.
I always love those ones.
Yeah.
Well, Dave.
How did I pass the test?
Yes, you did great.
Okay.
It stumps the majority of my guests, so you went right along with them.
Well, I thought it was a pretty good save to
Yeah.
come back with family.
Oh, I always love the family ones. I always love the family ones. No, you're good, and especially the when they bring them back.
Mm-hmm.
From the dead and say, I want to sit down with this person or this person. Those are my favorite ones. So, but those are all the questions I have for you. How can people find you? And what is one thing you would want to leave people with?
Mm-hmm. Well, inventors are dreamers. Keep dreaming. We can't control what's coming up, but we can think good thoughts about it and maybe prepare ourselves a little bit. I'm the only Purdue in Northwest Ohio that is an attorney. So, my dad grew up in West Lafayette, where Purdue University is, but we're not related. Well, if we are, it's kind of weird because John Purdue, also my father's name, and the namesake of the university, was a bachelor. So if we're related to him, there's something hinky going on.
Yes.
Purdue.
I love it.
You'll find me.
Yeah. Well, Dave, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Gosh, Easton, thank you very much. I like the suit.
Thank you.
Maybe I should have dressed up a
No,
little.
no, you look great, especially with your shoes. I love the shoes.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, been doing that since my high school days.
Yeah.
They're cool again.
Yes.
He's talking about the Chuck Taylors.